Patrick McNeil back here with you at Colonel Samuel Smith Park alongside Troy Thompson, as it is time now for the official Women's Plus match here at the 2025 Men's Club Championship. Nice to see the women in action, joined by Troy Thompson. Troy, should be an exciting matchup between two rival provinces here in Ontario and Quebec.
Yeah, really look forward to this one. The Loons from Ontario, the Saints from Quebec. Thanks to EMM Consulting sponsoring this game. Look, lots of great women's footy played all across Canada over the years. They've got a really great reputation in international women's footy, and we're going to see more of it here today. I'm told we've got a few pretty new players, but also some very experienced players on both sides. So looking forward to a great matchup.
Yeah, and for those new women's players, just an opportunity to prove themselves. We'll get a ball up. It is Quebec in white and blue, Ontario in yellow and green, and there's the Loons of Ontario win at the opening bounce as the ball move forward. Again, Ontario, yellow and green, kicked along the right side. Ball goes dribbling it does. As Ontario, Jacqueline Halliday, star for the Hamilton Wildcats, will kick the ball forward as getting players from different club teams in Ontario on this Ontario club. Kick forward by Hussein as the ball goes bouncing out. And you'll notice the posts look a little pushed in, as not as many players on the field, so the field is on a reduced size. So still an opportunity for all these women to get the limelight, so to speak, in this. As Troy mentioned, the official Women's Plus match partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships is EMM Consulting, so we thank them for their support. Boundary throw in as the ball comes onto Quebec hands. Again, 4 15-minute quarters here, so a bit of a different format as they're just the one game, so they get an opportunity to play a little bit more. Ball on the ground, and umpire will blow the play down. So you see the cones around the field as well. So again, reduce size, not because of it being a women's game, but just because there's not as many players. So good opportunity for the women as the ball is thrown up into the air. Saints in possession, and no prior there, so a quick whistle, and the ball will be thrown up. That team's still in the early going here as the ball tapped forward by Ontario. So again, is the Loons in yellow and green against the Saints in white and blue. Contest for the ball. Kick forward. I think that was Halliday getting her foot on it. And that will look like it might go bounce through. It just bounces through 4 behind. So Ontario has the first score of the game.
Didn't quite get the bounce she wanted there, but great work just receiving out the back of the pack in the clear, able to get a nice kick away. And except for that bounce, would have had the 6.
Yeah, and as Troy mentioned, a lot of women playing, not their first game, but are still relative newcomers to the game. So a player like Halliday, who's played with the national team, is going to be leaned on for her experience a lot. And players, you're going to see that on both sides. Like Carolyn Leduc on Quebec's side would be another example of that. So looks like the Saints were going to have a goal kick.
We have an issue with the ball, actually, Patrick. So I think we're just going to have a quick change. Sometimes balls can be just a little bit underinflated when they start off. So just going to get a better one coming out now. Umpire Bruce Parker just sending the flat ball back.
Yeah, sometimes your commentator, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you kind of kick yourself for not getting it. That's not one I would have guessed. Didn't have that one number as being a prediction of something that could happen here. But we'll make sure they get to actually play with a proper fitting ball. I guess our clock is running there, but you can likely add some time on at the end, as again our clock is unofficial, but it is just the one score for Ontario. We're just getting going here.
Yeah, so just waiting for the one inflated to the correct 69 kilopascals, which is the official and correct way to inflate a ball, coming out to Bruce Parker, and we'll be able to get back underway.
Yeah, the women have been waiting all day to play. Now I guess they have to wait a little bit longer for this game to get going again, as Quebec will get the goal kick coming off that Ontario behind the first score of the game. And we are back underway. So again, it is a 1-0 score in favor of Ontario. Kick through the middle again. Quebec white and blue, Ontario yellow and green. That ball is marked, as that is Julia Rands kicking it through the left side as ball goes bouncing on the ground. As will be picked up by the Saints. As kicked along the wall on the left side, along the left boundary, as the play blown down, and that will be a ball up, I should say. Or boundary throw-in, correct boundary throw-in. Again, field modification there. It's punched by Ontario as the ball will come along the wall, and that will also go out. Just getting going here in the Women's Plus match. Again, Ontario and Quebec, rivals in just about everything. As ball will come to Team Ontario, plays on, Kicks through the middle, and will not quite be caught. No mark there as contest, and that ball will go out again. So neither team really able to get anything in terms of sustained possession. But again, like you said, Detroit, a lot of new players, so maybe the chemistry might not be there for these two teams.
Nice work by the Loons, just taking it out of the ruck, getting it into the forward 50.
So opportunity here for the Loons again, but it is going to be Saints ball. Ball picked up by the Loons. Again, Loons, Ontario, Saints, Quebec. High contact call, so that will be a free kick given to, it's going to be a ball up. Thought I heard the high contact, but it was a ball up. Ontario takes possession, or the Loons take possession, I should say. Wow, not a lot of time and space there. Great tackles. That was Julia Rands, was all over the ball. She's earned herself a free kick. As Rands will take it back. It's played in St. John with the Bulldogs, says Julia Rands, as she'll kick the ball on the left side. It's on the ground. And it's going to be soccered. It's going to end up in Quebec hands again. As ball picked up by the Loons. Down the right side it goes. Goes dribbling along the right side of the field. Here's a kick for goal. Great smother there. As a good Quebec defensive pressure makes sure favorable results as opposed to allowing a big score.
Yeah, putting the body on the line, getting in, making sure that kick didn't get away clean.
Yeah, that's what you like to see for sure. Coaches love that stuff. As boundary throw in, it's tapped forward by the Loons. As ball on the ground again, seeing a lot of contest on the ground, although better conditions for the women than the men had at the beginning of the day here. As the ball kicked towards the right side, and that is going to go out just to the side of the behind post.
Again, really good pressure on that kick, making sure that she didn't get a clean kick at goal and affecting that just over the line out of bounds.
Boundary throw in and ball wired up in the air. And I think that's Julia Rands, whose name we're calling a lot today, was able to get her hands on it, but that's going to end up being a free kick for the Loons. So an opportunity. Halliday's got a pretty good chance to score. I would say this is within her range. She will back up to take the free kick. Goes, and that could have the distance. And that is going to go through for the game's first goal. It is going to be the Loons striking with a major score. And Ontario will add to their lead 7-0, 1-1-0. So a good execution there by the Loons to get the game's first major score.
Yeah, and Halliday not just showing her experience, but her skill, making sure that when she's got the shot, she gets it done. They get the major score, and they take a nice early lead.
That is what they were looking for, as it is a 1-1-7 score for the Ontario team, known as the Loons, and the Saints are scoreless here in the early going. It is 4 15-minute quarters, and again, reminder, our time is unofficial, as we had some equipment malfunctions, I guess you can say. They needed to inflate the ball. Can't really play with a deflated ball, so the ball will come back to center following that Ontario goal. Tap forward, Loons on the attack, but it's quickly turned back over to Quebec. Rands. The Saints, I should say, Rands along the right side. Ball will go bouncing along the right side here. Is going to be Loons ball. Nice handball option out the back. Kick towards the middle of the field. As who wants it? It's going to come to Saints' hands, it looks like. Punch forward. Comes to the Loons. And you hear the umpire's call. I think I might have heard a high call there, so we'll see which player gets the ball. It is going to be...
I think mine and high sound very similar from here.
Yes, the mystery is solved. Indeed. So it was no prior there, so the ball goes up. So a ball comes in towards the forward 50. It is going to be forward 50 for Quebec, I should say. And the Saints will have an opportunity here, it looks like, as we're just getting going here in the official Women's Plus match of the 2025 Men's Club Championships. Again, thanks to EMM Consulting. Dedicated to helping clients in the community achieve a sustainable future. EMM Consulting delivers solutions to drive a positive environment, economic, and social impact.
Yeah, umpire Greg Bridges just determining that was incorrect disposal.
Ball shoveled forward by the Loons as they try to get out of the defensive 50. As ball kicked back towards Saints. Big opportunity here for their first score. And that is going to go through. And that is a big goal for Team Quebec. as the Saints are on the board. They go marching in. I believe that was Ketchupin Vion. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And that is a big, big goal for Quebec. Strike back, and both teams have something on the offer here. 117, 106. A good start to this game.
Yeah, first time we've really seen the Saints break out, get it out in the open. And, she made no mistake. Right through the middle of the sticks. Their forward line very open as opposed to when we've seen it go down to the Ontario end of the ground.
Yeah, and of course these teams are still kind of finding their way here in the early part of this game. Again, reminder, it is 4 15-minute quarters. Ball up middle of the field. Ontario will take possession. The Loons kick it forward. Ball on the ground will come to Saints players as it's booted forward there by Rand. Seeing a lot of the ball thus far is Julie Rand as it's along the forward 50 there for the Saints. Kicked along the ground as it will come back to the Saints again along the right side. Oh, there's a big tackle by the Loons, and that's going to win a free kick.
Yeah, committed the body, front on tackle, wrapped the arms up, made sure that she had no way to get rid of the ball. Greg Bridges awarding that free kick to the Loons.
Yeah, very clinical tackle for sure as the kick goes a little short of the intended target. As on the left side it goes, but it will come on to Saints' hands. Now we have a contest along the ground, and not much to choose from there. So that will end up in the Saints' possession as they have an opportunity to move towards their forward 50. Kick along the right side, goes bouncing. As contest on the ground again. And Saints and Loons, Saints white and blue, Loons in green and yellow. As contest on the ground, the ball goes bouncing, and that will just go out. In a 1-point game, both teams striking fairly early here. Again, a 4 15-minute quarter. It's a different format than what we've seen. So the ball thrown up from the boundary as it'll come along to Saints' hands, at least initially, as they're trying to work their way down the field. Beautiful warm day in Toronto, so the players are going to be sweating it out there today, which you wouldn't expect from October weather, but here we are. Boundary throw-in ends up in Loon's hands, then punched forward on the left side. Ontario marching up the field, the home ground. I guess you could say a lot of the players will be used to playing in this park. Down the left side they go, using every one of those 15 meters, kick to goal square, no target there. As it didn't go quite as intended for the Loons.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have looked inside there. She had open teammate coming out of the square, but out wide, and Quebec will bring it back in.
Yeah, opportunity for the Quebec Saints. Again, Quebec trailing by 1 point here in this first quarter of play. You see players from around the province for both teams, so kind of an amalgamation of sorts, as we saw with some of the men's teams as well, actually. Some representing regions, some representing individual clubs. As the ball kicked along the right side. Comes into Loon's hands. Handball to the right. Loose on the ground. And a good job by both teams getting numbers to the contest there. No clean possession to be had. Ball ends up in the air as Rands was trying to get it for the Saints. Digging in. As the ball on the ground, it'll end up in Loon's hands. Short kick forward, not enough for a mark, but enough to keep the progress going. Ball kicked towards the forward 50. They actually went backwards and then forwards. Now the Loons moving it forward again. Loons with a 1-point lead and with the ball as well. Nice kick towards goal square. It's not going to hit the intended target. No, I guess I spoke too soon. Kick was not as effective as it looked to be coming off the boot.
Yeah, she made good ground getting around the pack there, but that forced her kick wide, unfortunately.
So Saints will kick here as they trail by a single point. Nice kick out towards the middle of the field. As opportunity, it's kicked low along the ground. As Saints trying to move it through the corridor here. Good job getting rid of it under pressure. Wasn't long enough for a mark, but it was long enough to get the kick out, which was the main objective. As the Saints pushing forward. Again, a lot of time and space there. Loon's able to get possession. As Halliday has it, she'll kick it along the left side. And it's going to be cleanly marked, a nice mark. And that will give the Loons a free kick. Off the mark, kick goes bouncing in. Here's an opportunity for the Loons. Kick that looks like it could be pretty good, and it is. Clean goal for Team Ontario. I think that was Jacqueline Halliday again. They moved to 2-1-13, 1-0-6. So the experience coming through for Team Ontario in the early going.
Yeah, she looked like she's done that many, many times before, and that's because she has.
Yeah, veterans coming to play here today, so Good start to this game. Both teams hitting the score sheet early. Again, it is the official Women's Plus match partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships. Consulting. They're dedicated to helping clients and the community achieve a sustainable future. Consulting delivers solutions to drive positive environmental, economic, and social impact. Visit emmconsulting.ca to create opportunities. Don't add an extra M, just EMM. So I'm thankful for having their support. And they're sponsoring a pretty good game so far, as both teams have been able to hit the score sheet in this opening quarter.
Yeah, nice work from Cricket Temple there in the middle to really get that ball going there for Ontario.
So we will get the center clearance following that Ontario goal. Tap forward as Saints will get a free kick. And that, I can confirm, was a high contact call. Greg Bridges doing a great job enunciating that. And the ball will be kicked, and I believe that was Carolyn Leduc. Boy, she just does everything out there for Quebec. Kick into forward 50, and that's a couple of good, clean kicks through the corridor, and Julia Rands will complete that mark for these Saints.
Yeah, speaking of experience, Leduc and Rands, both good operators, plenty of experience, making sure they keep possession there.
Rands will have an opportunity. This could be in her range, or she might kick for a mark. No, that looks good. Just falls a little short, and that'll end up being a behind for the Saints. So that will give them another score. Keeps this game within 6 points. A good start. Both teams can take positives in what we've seen so far as we're getting near the end of the first quarter. Again, a reminder, our time is unofficial. We had some hiccups here, so we'll see how close we are as Eames will reel that mark in for Ontario. Backs up. Jude Eames will look at the options and then kick it through the middle. Ball goes bouncing along. Wait for the call there. Is that the time whistle? Did we have quarter time? It looks to be the case. So we have played the first 15 minutes and a pretty good opening quarter, I would say. I said both teams can take some positives. Ontario 2-1-13 to Quebec 1-1-7. Again, we talked about a lot of people kind of new to the spotlight, but I think probably both pretty happy with how that first quarter played out.
Yeah, Ontario looked very much at home here at the start of that quarter. They got the ball forward a lot. But as it wore on, Quebec really came into the game. They used the ball very efficiently up forward, and that's all you can ask for from your forwards.
As Patrick McNeil and Troy Thompson near the campus of Humber College in Greater Toronto, Ontario, you're watching the AFL 2025 Men's Club Championships, courtesy of AFL Canada on YouTube. And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park here in Greater Ontario on the border of the campus of Humber College. Patrick McNeil joined by Troy Thompson of World Footy as it is the Women's Plus match brought to you by Consulting is the Ontario Loons against the Quebec Saints. Ontario in yellow and green, Quebec in white and blue. We're getting ready for the second of our 4 15-minute quarters. A pretty good first quarter of footy, I thought, Troy.
Yeah, good start. Ontario away early. Quebec really picking up in the second half of that first quarter. Now Quebec are going to have a little bit of a breeze behind them, and it doesn't matter. Just any breeze that's in your direction can really just give you that push and that edge to really push on. So see if Quebec can get away at a good start here.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see as we get the ball up to start our second quarter. So again, if you've been watching all day, the men's games have been 2 20-minute halves. This is 4 15-minute quarters. So Quebec again in white and blue in possession. They trail, but it is just a 6-point game. So still very much anybody's game here in the early going of this second quarter. Ball is on the ground. It will end up in Loon's hands. Good movement there towards the forward 50, but it's intercepted by Quebec. This was Genevieve Habra with the ball. It'll come now to Ontario hands. Esposito's after it. Kicks it. And looking for a mark. It'll go bouncing. That might still work to the advantage of Ontario. Good handball options executed there. Halliday goes back forth along the right boundary, and the ball will go dribbling. And not sure which player it was. It looked like one of the Quebec players did a good job spoiling that. And now we'll see the ball go out.
Yeah, second good spoil we've seen from the defenders, from the Saints.
So we will get a boundary throw in here. Again, we're just early in this second quarter, and that's going to be well executed by the Loons. And just booted on through clear. And I think that might have been Katrina Cohen-Passios. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, Katrina, but it is a goal for Ontario. And that is the start they were looking for, taking advantage of that early momentum. That'll bring them to 3-1-19, 1-1-7.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the value of good stoppage play, and the Loons executed that perfectly.
Yeah, good. As if we were watching soccer, good dead ball execution, they would call it, as the ball comes back to center following the Ontario goal. So again, it is Ontario with the 2-goal margin of lead here at this point. Temple gets it off the center clearance, been effective there today as the Ontario Loons move it forward. Good, getting better with the linking up of the handballs, but the Saints will take possession here. Good contest on the ground, good pressure there by Jacqueline Halliday as well, wearing 8 for Ontario. And we had an in the back call, so that will go to the Saints. Quebec again in white and blue, trying to kick it out of their defensive 50. Kick will go towards the center of the field. Got out of trouble, which was the main objective, but it will end up on Ontario hands. And ball on the ground, kick forward for Ontario. Down the right side it goes, or towards the right side it goes. Ontario marching towards the forward 50 for them as a good contest, and that we'll see the umpire whistle go. That will be a kick to Quebec. Kick towards the middle of the field as Ontario's on it. Kick forward. Ontario again, the Loons in yellow and green. It'll end up being the Saints ball again. Neither team really able to get anything in terms of sustained possession there the last 30 seconds or so. Nice handball to the right option there for the Loons, and was feeling the pressure, was able to get rid of it. A nice kick to mark. I think that was going to be, Hussein, who's been strong for Ontario. Nice mark for Hussein, and we'll back up and evaluate the options. Looking to see what's available. Kick towards goal, and it'll go dribbling, and that'll end up in Saints' hands. It's kicked out of trouble. Oh, actually kicked right back into trouble, perhaps. Did they pay that mark? Nope, play on. Hussein will take it, and a kick, centering kick there. Almost knocked away by Saints' hands. The ball will go dribbling, and it will stay in Ontario possession. It's kicked along the right side. It'll go up in the air, and that's going to be marked nicely there by Sarah Enner. Bit of an angle, I think, here on this free kick. Was that 23? I believe so.
Yeah.
Sarah Enner with an opportunity. Bit of a sharp angle. Might just try to kick the goal square, perhaps, but I might be underselling. Let's see. Veteran player, and that is going to go right through, it looks like. Waiting for the official call on that from the goal umpire. And that is going to go back to center. So, yeah, beautiful kick. I believe, again, that was Sarah Enner. Said underselling your ability to hit from that angle, but that is a goal for Ontario. And they have just come out flying in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was really great work from Cohen-Passios there, just putting the ball nicely out in front of Enner so she could run onto it and just take the easy chest mark. Not too far out from goal, so still in her range, and make the most of that. Into that breeze, as we said.
Yeah, Troy, the meteorologist, coming through here. And it is nice to feel, I will say as well. But, yeah, taking advantage of it. That's big for Ontario, and they are off and running here in this second quarter. As off the center clearance, Ontario looking to take advantage again. Ball on the ground. Goes dribbling. Good protection there by the Loons. Ball is kicked forward. Good hand link. Seeing more of that from Ontario in this second quarter. Good ball movement both east-west and north-south. Ball out the back. It will end up on Saints' hands. But again, just no support whatsoever. Just Ontario swarming. The Loons are all over the ball.
Yeah, really liking the link up of the handball there from the Loons as they came through. Half forward there.
Yeah, really impressive to watch. And they get a ball up in the forward 50. So another big opportunity to add to that lead. A really strong start to this second half with those 2 early goals for the Loons. Ball goes up, and it'll end up on the ground. And, not much being decided from that contest. So Greg Bridges, our umpire in charge, I think is going to fire that ball up in the air to see what happens. And it's batted forward by Team Ontario. Saints get it back, though. It'll be moved up along the left side of the field. Halliday's got it now for Ontario. Breaks free. Bit of a centering kick there, goes up in the air, gives time for the intended target to get to it as the Loons keep possession. And I think, have a holding the ball call.
Yeah, incorrect disposal, really.
Well, that will end up in the hands of the Quebec player Ariane Bailon is wondering if that's her ball, so she'll hand it off to her teammate, Genevieve Habre. And it will actually end up being Ontario that gets the opportunity. And this is a big potential kick for goal here that would add to an already growing lead for Team Ontario as they're up 25-7. Not a bad-looking kick, but it ends up on Saints' hands. Still an opportunity for the Loons. Ball low along the ground. It's still up for grabs. Whoever wants it, it will be the Loons picking it up. Nice handball link there. Opportunity to kick for goal. And that is going to go through again as the Loons just taking advantage with another major score here. Goal Ontario as they have really had their way with the Saints in the early part of this second quarter. Yeah,
number 11, Edguer, just waiting out the back. There was 3 or 4 players waiting to pounce on that. I just saw, was it number...
We're trying, folks.
Oh, yeah. Sarah Anna was just sneaking down there on the outside waiting for it, but it came out the other way.
Getting sunnier and sunnier. Tougher to get those numbers here, but the women have putting on a good show. Particularly Ontario is really off and running here in this second quarter. As center clearance, the Saints will claim it. They would love to get a goal here to try to change the momentum of this game, as it's been all Ontario in the second quarter thus far. The Ontario women maybe trying to pick up the slack after the men's team was not represented in the grand final. As the ball on the ground, as Rands will soccer it along there for the Saints. Gets it to Leduc. Kicks it forward. So here's an opportunity for the Saints looking for a big goal to try to get back into this one. It's along the ground. Trying to soccer it. No one's really able to pick it up. And finally, it's going to be taken in transition here by the Loons of Ontario. Ball goes on along the right side of the field. Good contest here. Everybody wants the ball. No one's able to pick it up. It will end up in Saints' hands. And it's kicked forward. And a nice attempt, but no target there, as it was all Loons' bodies. But Saints get it back. As a nice kick to contest there. Lots of good numbers being sent by both teams. And now it'll end up being a Loons ball as they can have the opportunity to kick it out of trouble here. That is Eames. Called Jude Eames' names a few times today. Ball kicked, and it's going to be cleanly marked there by Krista Kent. Krista will back up a little bit. Have an opportunity for a mark. And boot that ball. Looks good. Not going to find the target as intended, though. Ontario, the Loons will keep moving along. As Compassios will boot it forward, but that is going to be intercepted, and Gabrielle Bureau able to reel that in for the Saints. Take her time, try to seize up whatever opportunity there is here. Up in the air it goes. And it will end up on Loon's hands. Booted towards the goal, towards the forward 50, I should say, as the Loons are on the attack. Ball on the ground. And it's going to still remain in Ontario possession. Pushes the ball forward with the hands. Ball kind of dribbling along the ground. Still up for grabs if anybody wants it. Here's a big opportunity to kick for goal up in the air, and that is going to be a single point for Ontario. So they add to their lead, 5-2, 32-117.
Yeah, rush shot there from Cricket Temple. Probably had a bit more time than she thought.
Yeah, good pressure, I guess, from the Saints to try to reduce that score, which they succeeded in doing, as Halliday will pick it up for Ontario. The Loons in possession. Halliday will boot it towards the goal. And that is going to be intercepted, and just a move to play on, and not the right move as it turns out. As pressure was coming from behind, the veteran Sarah Enner with a big tackle for the Loons, and that's a huge free kick.
Yeah, Sarah Enner just saw that waiting for her. It was gift wrapped, and she took it.
Yeah, sometimes you get the temptation to play on, but in this particular case, Sarah Enner is going to have the opportunity to boot Ontario into a bit of a bigger lead. Doesn't look like a bad kick off the boot of Sarah Enner, and that is going to go through. Did they give that a goal?
Yep.
And it is, in fact, another goal for Ontario. So it's second quarter that has really belonged to the home side so far. I think a lot of that, you just go back to the decision to play on, but just a defensive menace was Sarah Enner there. Earns the free kick and gets the goal. So Ontario ahead 38-7. I want to thank Tribal Sport, the official tournament partner for the 2025 Men's Club Championships. With more than 20 years of experience and a deep understanding of the international footy market, Tribal Sport is your source for high-quality on- and off-field apparel. Visit tribalsport.com.au to order your club's merchandise today. As the Saints get the ball off the center clearance, it'll be punched forward. Rans will give that a boot. Big kick. It's not going to go the distance. Oh, it just goes for
It is going the distance.
Yeah, not for the goal, but it does go for a behind for Team Quebec. That might be the longest kick we've seen for a point today, Troy.
Very much so.
Yeah, Julia Rans with some power behind that one. It does just give the minor score for Quebec, and they're going to need to create something here as we're coming into the last few minutes of this second quarter. Reminder, it is 4 15-minute quarters, bit of a different format. Of course, the women get to play just the one game, so giving them more of an opportunity to play here. Nice contest there between Rans and Cohen Passios. Is a good battle for the ball. It'll be kicked out from in front of the Ontario goal. And that's Caroline Leduc turning on the Jets as she can do. Ball kicked towards the goal square. It's loose on the ground. It's punched away. Now Rans is after it. As the Saints trying to create something here, is ball on the ground, and we do get a whistle with 38-8 the score in favor of Ontario, and that will be a ball up right in front.
Rans was thinking about giving that the full boot, but then thought better of it. She might have taken someone's head off.
Yeah, she's got the power to do that, as we saw earlier with that long behind that was scored. So the ball ends up on the ground as the Ontario women are after it. Ball dribbling along the ground as Rans was taken down. Good contest for the ball. Umpires just letting the players sort out. Boy, there's all kinds of players and all kinds of colors there. It's a good battle along the ground. And the umpire calls for it as the players were not able to sort it out, so we'll see if a restart can establish some sort of possession. But you like to see that. Good numbers of the contest for both teams. As ball is won by Ontario. The Loons, it's a kick forward. No green and yellow jumpers there, so it'll end up on the foot of Bureau, which she ends up kicking it into opposition hands. Ball punched forward as Ontario on counterattack now, kicked into the forward 50. And will that have the strength to go out? Yes, the ball will go bouncing out of play. So the umpire will get ready to throw that in. It did hit the grass a number of times, so boundary throw in as the umpire rips the ball in, and it'll be an opportunity for Ontario perhaps to add to their lead. Kick will go bouncing, and it stays in play. Saints take possession. Up the left side of the field it goes. Goes dribbling. Saints still with it. Ball goes along the ground. As Quebec trying to generate something here. So this has very much been Ontario's second quarter. Ball turned over back to the Loons again. And kick will end up in Loons' hands as they push forward. Saints trying to see if they can change the tide here. Loons in possession now. It's booted forward. That could have the distance. Oh, it's going to be intercepted right in front of the Quebec goal. The Saints kick along the right side. And that's going to be intercepted by Esposito. We'll back up and take a mark here. Free kick. And has 50-meter penalty been paid here?
Yep. Esposito has really come into this game in the second half of this quarter. A couple of nice possessions. Went wide last time, probably when she should have centered it up, but this time she's going to be straight in front of the goal, so should be no problem.
Yeah, that 50 meters definitely going to put her in excellent position to kick another one for Ontario. So they'll have an opportunity to add to their already 30-point lead, and definitely think this is a favorable spot for Esposito to try to add to the lead. We'll back up, and this is going to be an at-the-horn kick. So this will count if it goes through. Definitely have to favor the odds of getting at least a goal, at least a point here. And it looks like that'll be punched through. I didn't see the Quebec player, but a good job to get the hands up to prevent that from being a major score. So that will go through for just the one, it looks like. Or did they mention that was a point at all? Didn't quite make it? Didn't quite make it, so... Again, that ends a bit far for us, but it is still a very good first half for Ontario. They end up going 6-2-38 to 1-2-8. I guess the big story, a much different second quarter than what we saw in the first quarter. Ontario just moving the ball really well, it seemed, Troy.
Yeah, moving the ball, using it well, and probably could have been a few more goals in front if it wasn't for some good marking, actually, from the Saints defenders.
Indeed. So it is a 38-8 lead for Ontario. You're watching the official Women's Plus match partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships is Consulting, and they're dedicated to helping clients and the community achieve a sustainable future. Consulting delivers solutions to drive positive environmental, economic, and social impact. You can visit emmconsulting.ca to create opportunities today. Ontario leads Quebec 38-8 at halftime. Again, it is 4 50-minute quarters. Patrick McNeil and Troy Thompson coming at you from the Colonel Samuel Smith Park, bordering the campus of Humber College in Greater Toronto. You're watching courtesy of AFL Canada on YouTube.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park, near the campus of Humber College in the Greater Toronto area on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. I'm Patrick McNeil, joined alongside Troy Thompson of World Footy, as it is the Women's Plus game here at the 2025 Men's Club Championship. And it is Team Ontario leading Team Quebec 6-2, 38-1-8 as we get ready for the center bounce. Very impressive second quarter for Team Ontario, Troy.
Yeah, they were all over them. I probably should be said that Quebec generally play 9-a-side footy in their women's competition. So this is literally a stretch for them, right, to play on the bigger field with more numbers. And that takes some time to really get used to. I've noticed they haven't really used the space great in the back line. So hopefully we're going to see better use of that in this third quarter.
Yeah, great observation. It is definitely a different game as the ball goes up. I think the best I've heard that compared to, if you're comparing to other sports, it's like 9-a-side footy is like hockey and 18-a-side is like soccer. So those are very different games. So ball goes towards the Loons, forward 50, the Ontario team, known as the Loons, wearing yellow and green. Quebec is in white and blue, the Saints. And obviously, as we were just saying, it was Ontario's game, particularly in the second quarter. But hey, we get an opportunity to play 2 more quarters, and we'll see what the Saints can bring here. Boundary throw in. Ball is tapped forward by Halliday, one of the more notable Ontario players in that first half of footy. Again, it's 2 15-minute halves here. As I know if you were watching the men's games, it was two 20-minute halves. Here it's 4 15-minute quarters. That just gives the women a little bit more time to play, which is good to see. Ball kicked along the right side, and that is going to be paid. I didn't know if that was cleanly caught, but that is going to be a mark for the Saints as they try to march the field along the right side. March the ball on the right side of the field. Should say it's kick forward. Ball will go bouncing. It's intercepted. Halliday will take it. Kicked along the left side of the field as the Loons march forward. Ball intercepted as the Saints take it the other way. As handball up the middle. It'll come back to Ontario. Loons kick it forward. Ball goes high up in the air. Who wants it? No clean mark there, but Loons will keep possession. Good ball protection there by Team Ontario. Ball goes back towards Esposito, who's been very good for Ontario in this game. Ball comes back up, and I think that's Halliday that's got another free kick. He's had a few of those today. As uses the handball option to the right. As feeling the heat. I think that's going to be improper disposal. That ball should go the way of the Quebec Saints. So some good defensive pressure there from the Saints. As I believe, that's going to be a kick in the defensive 54. Quebec switching to the left side of the field. It is going to be Gabrielle Bureau picking that, recording the mark, I should say. Use the handball option to Julia Rands. Little head fake there by Rands along the left side. Ball will go bouncing towards the middle of the field. Might find Ontario feet. Cohen Passios will pick it up for the Loons. Kicks along the right side. Centering kick as it turns out. Ball will go all on the ground. Rands will try to pick it up for the Saints. Rands legs the ball and then wires it. That's one of the best kicks we've seen this weekend in terms of being able to fire that a little bit of a distance. Loons will take possession. Handball forward as it's off the ground and on the ground again as we get the free kick awarded to Quebec, I think, on the holding the ball, as it will be. You see the directing traffic trying to get some options here. As nice kick. Will be marked cleanly, and that's what Quebec needs, working through the quarter. Bit of a long-distance kick here, perhaps has a target in the goal square, but this is what Quebec needs to start this second half.
Yeah, great experience by Leduc to get that kick in, and now she's pushed forward and going to try and get herself here.
Yeah, definitely a general out there on the field for
There she is.
Leduc. Yeah, again, ball follows her around, and actually, obviously playing for Quebec and is from Quebec, but plays club footy in both provinces, so not lacking in experience. Halliday will kick the ball forward, and that is almost marked by Temple, who's been strong for Ontario today. Has a chance to run with it. Nice bounce off the ground. Haven't seen a lot of those, but why not if you got the space? That's a nice-looking long kick, too, and has a target in the goal square. Here's a potential opportunity for Enner, who has a goal already today, and is not going to make any mistake there. Sarah Enner with another big kick through the 2 middle posts. That's a goal for Team Ontario.
Yeah, Sarah Enner just had that in the bag before it even was in her hands. She read that well. She could see where the defenders were, was able to step, and then just thread that through nicely.
Yeah, no mistake being made there. So, again, we've talked a lot about some of the experienced veteran players that have come to play. It's a bright sunny day, but the stars are shining for Team Ontario thus far in this contest, as the score now goes 7-244 to 1-2-8. So the Loons of Ontario coming out strong here, as center clearance following the goal, as tap will end up in Quebec hands. Ball on the ground. As who wants it? Halliday will soccer it forward. As ball still in the middle of the field. It's a pod forward. It's still loose for whomever wants it. Briefly ends up in Quebec possession. Goes back to the Loons. Kick forward. Goes bouncing along. It comes to Quebec, the defensive side of the field for them. That kick, will that go to target? Nope, not quite. Now it's still up for whoever wants it. Ball's on the ground. Gravel has it for Quebec. Taken to ground, and I think they're going to say that she had prior, so that will end up being a free kick for the Loons. As opportunity here.
A little bit unlucky there. She was held when she didn't have the ball, and then as soon as she got it, was tackled.
Yeah, not luck not onside there for Team Quebec. They get the ball back, though. It's booted through the middle. Looks like we'll see a contest in the middle of the field. Quebec didn't have numbers, but they get the ball anyway. Again, Carolyn Leduc, even 1-on-2, she finds a way to get the ball. It's a kick forward. Ball goes bouncing around. Who's going to pick it up? Good contest there. As Ariane Balon doing a good job laying the shoulder, as the Saints will lay claim to it. Don't know if there was much there. So ball still up for grabs. Ontario will take possession, goes up in the air. Not much on that kick. Again, both teams getting strong numbers for the contest. Hard to establish anything in terms of linking and whatnot, as the ball kicked in towards the Ontario forward 50. Here's Cricket Temple. Moves it backwards. Loons still with it. Now goes to Saints possession. Tackle shaken off. High kick goes towards the middle of the field. Ball with a strange bounce. Boy, the footy does unpredictable things sometimes. And that was poor Isabelle Gravel was trying to go it alone for Quebec there against about 4 women from Ontario. I guess not a bad result, all things considered, as it is going to be a ball up.
Yeah, I think we've got a blood rule happening here. A little bit of a cut on the head, I would say.
Yeah, just similar, I guess, to you would say basketball rules in terms of the blood in Australian football. And that is Isabelle Gravel, who I just mentioned was kind of gamely fighting the odds there. The one Quebec player against 4 Ontarians, and ends up hitting the deck, so to speak. So hopefully she's going to be okay.
Yeah, so trainers out on the ground looking after, and they're going to carry her off now. So both teams just helping out each other there.
Yeah, nice show of respect there, and everybody kind of coming together when needed. And it's you will see that, unfortunately, as I said, sometimes whether it's a tackle or whether it's just just run into somebody or whatnot. We saw Kyle Robinson go down in the last game of the group stage for the men. So hopefully Isabelle Gravel will be okay, but being taken off the field, as Troy just mentioned. As Quebec and Ontario, we're in the second quarter. And again, reminder, time is unofficial, but we're about, not quite halfway through, but getting halfway through the third quarter, I should say. Ontario 7-2-44, Quebec 1-2-8. Again, I want to remind you, the EMM Consulting is the official Women's Plus match partner for the 2025 Men's Club Championship. They're dedicated to helping clients and the community achieve a sustainable future. EMM Consulting delivers solutions to drive positive environmental, economic, and social impact. Visit emmconsulting.ca to create opportunities today. Also want to thank Payable Apps, the official streaming partner of the Men's Club Championships. Simplify all the effort involved with accepting, collecting, and reporting electronic payments with Payable Apps. Visit payableapps.com to automate your payments today. And I think a lot of the Payable Apps was used on beer yesterday, from what I've been told.
Yeah, I might be using it myself later this afternoon.
There you go. Troy's doing some great job on color. He's earned himself a drink or five. As the ball bouncing along the ground here, as Team Ontario will pick it up. As ball still in dispute. Saints players try to pick that up. Ball's up in the air. And again, both teams just getting numbers to the ball. So when that happens, it's tough for anybody to really establish clear possession. And that ball will go out for a little jaunt as it goes bouncing along the ground. So the boundary throw in incoming here. And yeah, we're about halfway through the third quarter. Team Ontario and Team Quebec. Again, Ontario, the Loons in green and yellow. The Saints in white and blue. As ball thrown up, and it's going to be a clean win for the Ontario Loons. And holding the ball call. Didn't know if there was a lot of prior there, but the umpire says so.
Yeah, it was really good work by Andrushin. It was almost odds on that Cricket Temple was going to try and take that out of the ruck and kick the goal, but Saints onto that this time, so it was good to see.
Yeah, well-earned free kick. Julia Rands has it now for the Saints. And looking for Leduc along the right side. Leduc did a really good job of protecting that ball without actually holding it. We'll move the ball, sorry. There's my instinct. So I was waiting when that was going to happen today. Moves it for Rubiano as the Saints move the ball into the forward 50. And another contest along the ground. And we get a whistle. So the Saints, this is what they're looking for, looking to get more of the ball, as it has obviously been a game dominated by Ontario. But we've seen those bright spots for Quebec, and they would love to get a score here. As ball up, tapped by Rands, I do believe, as the Saints trying to push it forward. It's directed the other way. Oh, almost a nice mark. I think the ball was coming in too hot. And that's just good recovery there. You don't mark the ball, and then you immediately, it was Cohen Pastios, couldn't get the mark, but immediately went to try to earn a free kick another way and ends up earning a ball up, 50-50 proposition. So just good footy there all around. As ball up is won by Quebec. It'll be kicked along there by Rubiano as the Saints showing a little bit more here the last few minutes, but that is going to be a Loons free kick. Obviously, they've had the bulk of the game today as we're nearing the end of the well, not quite nearing the end. Still 6 minutes or so left in this third quarter. As the ball kicked through the corridor, goes bouncing along. It's pushed forward on Saints' hands. As Esposito moves it ahead. And pass was intercepted. I think we got an in the back call there. So it will be a free kick to... It will be a free kick to Quebec. The Saints waiting to see which player was going to receive the ball. As... Again, the Saints are looking better the last few minutes, trying to turn the tide here a little bit. Kick goes up, goes bouncing along the ground. It will come onto Loon's hands. As ball's available for whomever wants it. Easier said than done, though. And incorrect disposal, the call. And Quebec looking better the last 2 minutes, Troy.
Yeah, working really well. And it's unfortunate that Isabel Gravel went off when she did, because she was really starting to make an effect up there at half forward.
And Carolyn Leduc kicks it forward. Opportunity here for Justine Robitaille. There's a boot, and that is going to go just a little offline. It'll go out. So we'll get a throw in from behind the goals.
But the intent from Quebec's been really good, and now you see them with a stoppage next to their behind post. Andrushin be looking to get a nice little tap down to a runner here.
And let's see what happens. It's going to be a tap won by Ontario, and they're going to be able to get it out of trouble. That was a key disposal there as the ball will go dribbling towards the middle of the pitch. As Ontario, the Loons marching it forward, kick up the middle. And not quite marked, but it got enough of the ball, did Bureau to kick it, and then ends up kicking it right back into Loon hands. So Quebec, I guess, getting everything done except for that last part of the field. And it'll go bouncing along the ground as... After it again is Bureau. Ball still dribbling along. Assume whoever wants it. The Loons take possession. Comes back now to Saints' hands. As Rubiano will kick it on to the right side for the Saints. Ball goes bouncing up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted by Esposito, who's been a bright light for Ontario, kicking along the right side for Eames. Eames will make a centering kick. Hands were out there for Hussein. Couldn't quite reel it in, but gets back to it anyway. Kick up, trying to find some friendly hands, but instead it's intercepted by the Saints. As kick from in front of the goal square as Quebec tries to kick it out of trouble. Ball doesn't hit the intended target. Halliday will pick it up for the Loons. Kick towards the goal, and that hit Quebec hands instead, so ball kind of bouncing all over the place. The post's looking a little wobbly there as well. So that will end up being a big opportunity here, it looks like, for Ontario. You see the spot. This looks pretty favorable, I would think, for the Loons.
Yeah, she'll hopefully be looking to just step inside a little bit if she can.
Yeah. Angle might be a little bit off. So let's see what they have to offer. Handball option executed at the back to Eames. Eames has to reach back to get it. And ball goes bouncing way up. Halliday tries to reel it in. Ball's still loose on the ground. It's finally picked up by the Loons, booted towards the goal. And that goes through unexpectedly. I don't even know if that was an intended kick for goal, but they will take it. So Ontario with another goal. As the scoring, I guess, even when they're not necessarily intending to, 8-2, 50-1-2-8. I guess you have more of the ball, you get rewarded subsequently.
Yeah, the intent was there, and that's what really made that goal. But Vianot was back there, I guess, as we sometimes call in women's footy, the goalkeeper, back on the line. Unfortunately, though, the bounce just eluded her, and the ball skipping through for a major.
Yeah, big goal for Ontario. The Loons, again, leading 50-8. So a very strong performance for Ontario here. I want to thank Hemingway's Restaurant and Bar, the official after-party partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships, famous for their rooftop patio right in the heart of Yorkville. Hemingway's Restaurant and Bar offers delicious pub food, events, and international sports. Visit hemingways.co to book your reservations today. Play back underway here, Ontario. The Loons with it. Ball bouncing along the right side of the field. It'll come up the right wing, so to speak, but it'll come on to Quebec Saints' hands, and that will just square it into play as the boundary umpire on top of that to deliver a throw-in.
Great clearance from Rands there, but unfortunately didn't have a good target up forward. No one was really looking to link up with her, unfortunately.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. One of the differences in this game as to why Ontario has been able to establish the advantage that they have. Nice bounce of the ball there. And a bit of a centering kick there. Rands is in the middle of things again for Quebec, throwing her shoulder into things. Reaching up for the ball. Trying to go over the top. No go. As it'll be a free kick for Rands of the Saints. As opportunity here for Quebec to take the ball down the other side. Boot along the left boundary. As Leduc's in the middle of everything. A lot of Quebec's production is run through Leduc and Rands. Leduc, not a lot of help, though. Nobody really near the barrel. Ball for either team, and that was a bit of unfortunate play for Carolyn. Leduc has to give the ball up, but didn't really have a lot of options there. There wasn't really a lot of players there for either team. And it was going to be a ball up, but instead we're going to get the horn as we're at the end of three-quarter time. Another strong quarter for Ontario, 8-2, 50-1-2-8. Definitely some bright spots Quebec could pick from there, but a strong showing from Ontario today.
Yeah, Ontario still too good, but as you said, some bright spots. Quebec working their way back into it, but just really struggling to find that connection with their forwards at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Again, a strong showing for Ontario thus far. We're at three-quarter time, still have 15 minutes of this Women's Plus game here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Greater Toronto. You're watching the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championships on AFL Canada YouTube.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFLCanada.com and find a club near you today.
Patrick McNeil and Troy Thompson back with you here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Greater Toronto next to the campus of Humber College as we're at the three-quarter time of the Women's Plus match. Team Quebec and Team Ontario. It has been Team Ontario carrying the play thus far. The Ontario Loons in green and yellow. Quebec is in white and blue as we're getting ready for the opening bounce of this fourth quarter. Not really a bounce. As ball up it goes. The Team Ontario Loons kick it forward. Ball will go dribbling along the ground as the Loons on the attack. And again, it is a 50-8 lead in favor of Team Ontario in yellow and green. Quebec is in white and blue. As ball on the ground. As it's loose. Who wants it? As Ontario will take possession. It's Eames looking for a kick. And that's an opportunity out front. Went off of hands, so that's going to end up being a rush behind. So a single point for Ontario to start this fourth quarter. And 4 15-minute quarters as opposed to the 2 20-minute halves, because the women a little bit more time to play, which is good. They get the one game, so give them a little bit more time to get out there. As goal square kick for the Saints. They're going to run it out a little bit and then kick to mark as Carolyn Leduc. Generally reliable, but was feeling the pressure there, so it's going to lead to a battle on the ground. Saints now kicking along the right side. Looks like might be maybe the arm of Cohen Passios. Not sure what happened there, but was kind of vocal of favoring that she may have been hurt, so hopefully there's no injury there.
I think just held without the ball.
Well, looks like she'll try to tough it out. As free kick for Ontario, the Loons, as ball will come on to Quebec hands. Arian Bailon with it briefly. Quebec trying to get it out of the defensive end of the field for them as kick forward for the Loons. Ball's on the ground. Contest here is that unpredictable breeze rears its ugly head as the ball will come back to more Ontario hands as potential kick for goal. Is going to go through for a single score, so another behind for Ontario here. They're territorially carrying the early part of this fourth quarter, as they've done to do most of this game. Well, I guess, Troy, what are you looking for Quebec, given that it's been a rough first three quarters for them?
Yeah, just really trying to maximize possession, so mark to mark and get the numbers moving. Really, they've started to look wider, but, well, here they go again up the middle, so maybe you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I promise. I was not trying to set up Troy for failure there. As the play continuing on, the Loons back with possession now as it's kicked forward. And nice intercept there in front of the goal. So Quebec getting that going for them at least. Kicked along the left side as that is going to be marked. So there you go. That's what
I was looking for.
There you go. That's the ball move we wanted from Quebec as the Saints trying to salvage what they can out of this fourth quarter, see if they can make this interesting. Ball kicked up the middle and not marked by Leduc, who's been very involved, engaged for the Saints, as she usually is. Ball kicked towards forward 50. It'll go bouncing. Could be an opportunity here for the Loons. Good pressure, defensive pressure there by the Saints. Ball will go bouncing along as Jude Eames is after it again. Been active for Ontario for sure. And ball kicked through. That is going to go for another behind. Boy, that's the key word of this fourth quarter as Ontario adds another minor score. So it'll be goal square kick for the Saints. Along the left side it goes. I think that was Rands trying to reel it in. Couldn't quite do so. Ball goes to ground. That'll be an opportunity for the Loons. Kick along the right side of the field. I think they're going out far side from our broadcast location there. Great folks at eThereLIVE helping us stream this production. And boundary throw in. That will come to the Loons players. Ontario Loons as the ball on the ground. Some pressure there from the Saints, but Loons keeping possession, at least for now. As we hear the whistling, you always hear protests, regardless of what the call is, I guess. But we are going to get a boundary throw in here. As that will be won by the Loons. Taking it ground. Loons able to keep the ball moving, though. There's a kick forward. That's going to be a nice, clean mark. There's a big opportunity for the Loons to add to that lead. Backing up. Opportunity looking for the first goal of this fourth quarter. They've been held to just behind since the clock turned over. There's a kick, And looks like that could be marked in the goal square. Nope. Battle along the ground for it. As Saints trying to run this out of trouble. Good Loons pressure. As we get a whistle there out in front of the goal that is Quebec is defending. As we're still in the first 5 minutes here of this fourth and final quarter. I think we're going to get the ball thrown up. So advantageous positioning for the Loons here. And the ball will go out as quickly as it came in.
Yeah, Quebec just working along the boundary line. That's as I would like to see it. If in defence, taking that ball wide, not giving easy opportunities for Ontario if they get the ball to kick goals.
Yeah, don't want to give up easy points. Ontario with an opportunity here regardless. Punch the ball towards the goal square. Opportunity for the Loons to get the first major score. It's on the ground. Who wants it? Could be a goal if any of the Loons players can get to it, but easier said than done. Protecting the house the Saints are doing at the moment. And doing a good job. Here's an opportunity to push the ball back towards the other side, and it is going to be cleared somewhat out of trouble here for the Saints. Oh, but it's given away to Eames. Eames with an opportunity to kick it forward, and that is going to see the ball go dribbling out, and that'll lead to another boundary throw-in. So the Saints bending but not breaking on that exact possession. But we'll get a boundary throw-in here as we're through 6 minutes or so of this fourth quarter. 4 15-minute quarters in this game. This ball thrown up. It's punched. I think it almost looked like it might have been an attempt to concede or at least move it to another teammate. No go there, but the Saints will have an attempt to move it up the right side of the field, but not going as intended there. I think we'll get another boundary throw-in. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day here the last minute or so. Ball up in the air, and Saints trying to get it out of trouble. And it's going to be a free kick to Ontario, and that's going to be Anika Hussein, who's had looks at the ball today with a big opportunity to add to the lead here.
Yeah, unfortunately, only the nominated rucks can touch the ball from that throw-in. So that's why the free kick was paid to Ontario.
So the free kick doesn't go as intended for the Ontario Loons. They do get a single point, though, so that adds to their margin. It's been all singles in this fourth quarter thus far. So, goal square kick will come out. Unable to mark the ball was Bureau, so the Loons will resume the attack as Loons try to push it forward. As it's kicked ahead by Hussein, and that will go just offline for another 1-point score for Ontario. And that's been the theme of this fourth quarter, but obviously they built up a healthy lead. 8-7-55, 1-2-8. Is the score in favor of the Loons from Ontario. Again, they're green and yellow, the Saints in white and blue. Goal square kick for the Saints. High kick. Lots of opportunity to settle for the mark. A couple of different sets of hands are after it. No one's able to get it. Now Halliday will reach out and grab it. Kicks towards goal. Ball will go bouncing along, kick along the ground, and that's going to be Hussein who's going to have an opportunity and will not make any mistake, and that's Ontario's first major score of the fourth quarter. I guess you had to think that was coming based on the way the play we've seen the last few minutes.
Yeah, you knock on the door enough times, eventually you get let in. And that's exactly what happened there. Ontario came and came and came. A lot of behinds, but finally they broke through.
Yeah, 9-7-61, Ontario, Quebec 1-2-8. And again, EMM Consulting is the official Women's Plus match partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships, dedicated to helping clients and the community achieve a sustainable future. EMM Consulting delivers solutions that drive positive environmental, economic, and social impact. Visit emmconsulting.ca to create opportunities today. Bounce at center, ball up at center, following the goal. As ball on the ground, it will come on the ground. Georgia Collins is after it there for Ontario. As we get a hold in the ball call, so that is going to lead to a free kick for Team Ontario's. Looks like Josephine Adjuar will take the ball. Looking at the options presented in front and kick forward. An intercept mark there for Julia Rands, who's had a strong game for the Saints. Rands will kick it along the right side. Leduc couldn't quite mark as Rands and Leduc have linked up a couple of times in this game, but it's going to be Ontario ball as Halliday will march through the middle of the field. Nice kick by Halliday, but not going to find hands intended. Ontario now with an opportunity. The Enclaves with it for the Loons. Got to give it a little run and kick through. And what a great individual effort that was. A nice little burst of speed and then a kick through, and that's going to be another goal for Ontario.
Yeah, you really got to take the game on when the opportunity's there, and she did just that. Saw the opportunity, pounced on the ball, straight at goal, made no mistake. Good straight kick, well done.
Yeah, found some open space, went with it, and a nice kick from game play, and it is another goal for Ontario. So they go 10-6, 66 to 1-2-8, and some different names that getting it done there for the Loons. Well, 5 minutes left here in this fourth quarter. Both of these teams want to finish strong. Ball up at center following the goal as Rands will be taken down, and that is going to be holding the ball, so good pressure there from the Loons. See which player is given the ball following that holding the ball call. So possession Ontario here. We got an opportunity to kick it forward. That's strong kick up. Contest. Collins was after it. As Loons keeping the ball along the ground, and it'll be forced out. So get a boundary throw in there. As a little more than 4 minutes left here in this fourth quarter. Quarter that has been kind to the Loons from Ontario. As boundary throw in. Ball handed by the Loons. Esposito's after it on the ground. Being swarmed by Rands. Esposito tries to kick that through the maze of players. It'll come to Eames at the right side of the field. Did a good job protecting the ball, did Jude Eames there. Kicks it along the right side. It'll go bouncing out in front of the post. Opportunity perhaps, and Adder again was Youngclaves, was looking to do what happened before, but not as successful this time around.
On the back foot that time, unfortunately, just didn't have the momentum to get that ball through the goal.
It had the highlight reel goal earlier in the quarter, so we'll settle for that for the time being. As opportunity here for Team Ontario, it's Esposito with it. Sizing up a pretty good looking kick here, I would say. Good distance to either go for goal or perhaps find a target there in the goal square. Looks good for goal, and that's going to go offline, and that will end up being pushed for a single point. So Ontario adds to their lead with 1 point. We have under 3 minutes to go, according to our unofficial game clock in the fourth quarter of this contest. Ontario and Quebec. Ball pushed forward. On the ground it goes. Who wants it? Here's an opportunity, and that's going to be booted through by Aika Sain, who's had a couple of goals go through for Ontario today. That's another major score. Ontario striking again, and it's really been all Ontario here in this fourth quarter. I'll push it to 11-7, 73, 1-2-8. And ball will return to center as 2.5 left here in this fourth quarter. One that has been kind to the host team, the Loons of Ontario. And the players from different teams around the province. As Troy was saying earlier, too, a bit of a different setup. Quebec primarily playing 9s, Ontario playing 18s. And I guess closer to 18s today, but not quite that full-length field.
Yeah, look, it's a great experience for the Quebec women to play in this bigger format. And, a lot of them will be looking to play at national level in the future, and this is a good experience to sort of take them on towards that.
Yeah, the coaches on both sides are evaluating players for those tournaments down the line, as the international component of Aussie rules is growing all the time. We've seen a lot of that at this very field, actually, going back to the Transatlantic Cup last year. Saints in possession, ball kicked forward. Boy, that was a great week of footy here in Toronto. Look forward to more events like that for sure, whether they're in Canada or abroad, as it is going to be a free kick for Quebec. And right around the middle of the field as time is ticking down here with the final 2 minutes of this Ontario-Quebec Women's Plus match as the ball is kicked along the left side of the field. Halliday will pick it up for Ontario. Ball goes along the right side. As Hussein, who's been strong for Ontario in this fourth quarter, just kicking it along the field. Into the final minute of play, it looks like here. Esposito with a handball across on the left side. Driving the ball towards the middle and then down the right line. And opportunity here for Ontario again. Sarah Enner, who's been a force out there for the Loons as well. Ball will go up. And they were saying that was touched. There wasn't going to be any mark regardless, but the ball is available on the ground. picked up by Team Ontario. And tackle, I don't know if they are going to say there was any prior there or not. There's have some field maintenance going on here as well, which is good to see. As into the final minute, final 30 seconds or so of this contest. As we're going to get a ball up. Tap forward. Ontario takes possession again. Esposito will blast it at the horn. It's not going to go through, but ultimately it doesn't matter as it's a big day for Team Ontario. Ontario 11-7, 73. Quebec 1-8. Great to see the women have a chance to get out there and play, and ultimately the host women putting on quite the show in this Women's Plus match.
Yeah, great match. Well done to Ontario Loons. Really, that second quarter set it up for them with big scoring, and that's always important in women's footy when you can get those goals on the board. When you take your opportunity, when that time comes, you get a period of a few, 5 or 10 minutes where you can bang on a few goals. It can really make a difference, and Quebec never really came back from that.
Yeah, great point about that second quarter. It was very close at quarter time, but it was that second quarter that we saw the Ontario women pull away. But nice to see the women get a chance to shine into the bright lights here. A big thanks to Troy Thompson doing some great job with color analysis this afternoon/morning. And this is Patrick McNeil with you here at AFL Canada YouTube. You are watching the 2025 Men's Club Championships from Colonel Samuel Smith Park in the shadows of Humber College in Greater Toronto, Ontario.